Hello, this is explanatory data analysis and model comparison regarding CITS C0009 project. This dataset is basically focusing on death rates and population in few countries. So let's look at how it's demonstrating, how it's visualizing using the Shiny app. When we look at this one, here we can see we have a main tree, EDA, model comparison and clustering tabs. Under the EDA, we have two tabs called overall distribution and plots. When I look at the overall distribution, here I have a select option for the population and the distribution. When I look at the population, here we can see some of the countries, how their population distributed, and it's China and India, and then United States became the first top highest population rate. And when I look at the death rate, it also show the China, India, and United States respectively. And those are the top 20 country distribution in my dataset. And then I'm going to move to the explanatory data analysis part. In here, we can see there are four sections we have to select. In first part, we have to select plot type. Under the plot type, we have scatter plot and box plot. In the data tab, we have original data which we are gained from the assignment sheet, and then I'm using the transform data. In the project, I'm going to use the log transform data. During my analysis, I realized that our data is doing their best performance when we're using the log transform data. So because of that, I'm using the log transform data as well. And the third one is health metrics. Those are our explanatory variables in our data set. And fourth part is the compare with. This is for the y-axis. I'm going to test with two different y-axis data. One for the total death, other one for the mean population as well. First of all, I'm going to look at scatter plot for the original data. Here, when I visualize my original data for the outdoor air pollution with the total death, here we can see our most of the data is getting clustered into the small area, and we can see some of the outliers in here as well. When I change it to the mean population, that's also the same. There's no much difference than the total death and median population. So I'm just going to change this into the box plot. It will be get more idea about the outliers. And when I look at the box plot, our interquartile range is not in the visible range, and here we can see a lot of outliers over there. So I'm going to change my data type into the transform data for the scatter plot. Yeah, now when I change this into the log transform data, our data is distributed well distributed. That's our data is distributed in up and down side of our fitted line, and so that's why I'm using the log transform data for our model. It will do the best prediction for our data set if we are using the log transform data. This is, I just change it to the death rates as well. Now in the death rates as well, our data is getting well distributed. And I'm going to try with other variable as well, unsafe sex. When I change it to the unsafe sex, that data also it's well distributed. What about vitamin A density? That's also well distributed. When I change this into the normal data, it like this. It's getting clustered into the small area, right? And when for the box plot here, the interquartile range is not in the visible range. So That's why I'm telling our log transform data is really good. Here you can see our box plot is really nice and we can see our interquartile range very clearly. So that's all about the analyze in the block plots area. This is the exploratory data analysis. And now I'm going to move into the model comparison. At the model comparison section, here we have a model selection, three model selection types, one for the both of together in logistic regression and decision tree, another one, other two is for the each individually at one time. When I look at the all comparison model, here we have a dashed line. It is for the null model, and blue color is for the decision tree and green color is for the logistic regression. When we look at this chart, it easily we can see decision tree is more close to our null model and logistic regression model is a little bit far from our null model. So this is the basic comparison about our models. Here I'm using the true positive rate in the y-axis and false positive rate in the x-axis. In the confusion matrix, we are basically focusing on true positive values and false negative value in the right top corner and bottom left corner. So we are just analyzing those two values, how it's getting distributed in our Ross curve comparison. From this, we are coming to the conclusion our decision tree is giving us more close to the null value predictions. Okay. And now I'm going to move into the clustering. Here we have clustering part. Under the clustering part, we have a matrix selection. This is my variables. This is other second variable selection, and this is for the how many clusters you want to distribute it to our data set. So just for the example, I'm just using the blood pressure and total death. When I look at this analysis, we can see our four clusters here. I can change this number of clusters from this part. If I reduce this into the 3 clusters, it's look like this. If it is getting clusters rating reduced to 2, it's getting like this. And we can increase it to the 6 clusters like that. We can compare with the 2 types of explanatory data variables as well when using the high sodium level and ion density. This is how our clustering getting distributed in the cluster visualization. And when I reduce into the 4, it like this. This is basically visualization for our analysis of health metrics and death rate data. And that's all. Thank you.